Welcome back, students, for the second discussion on Module 4, that is Global Environmental Concerns and Environmental Studies. In the earlier discussion, we have seen about carbon sequestering. So here there is a photograph that is like removing the carbon dioxide from atmosphere, that is smokestacks, and storing in plants, soil, deep underground reservoirs and deep ocean. So you can see extreme right top, there is a power plant, coal power plant. So they have made tree plantation there, and you can see the carbon dioxide is delivered to the rig in waters, and it is pumped in the oil rig. It is pumped into the deep ocean. Also, you can see in abundant feed also, and you may have some oil reservoir, old oil reservoir, which are now empty. So now this which are empty there, these gas carbon dioxide is pumped back into the reservoirs. This is happening in developed countries as of now, but later on I think even in developing countries it will pick up. Now here in this figure you can see how we can prepare for the possible long-term effects of climate change. Okay, what we should do action. Like you can see in the center, you have to stockpile 1 to 5 years supply of food. Very important. Then in the low-lying areas, coastal area, houses and building houses should be not allowed. So I think in Goa and all we have seen in the coastal regulation zone, CRZ area and all, new construction in the low-lying area is not permitted near the beaches and all. And moreover, we have to move the population from low-lying coastal areas to the mainland. We need to develop crops that require less water. In agriculture engineering, we have to reduce water dependence. Then you should waste less water. We should not waste water or waste less water. And connect the wildlife reserves with corridors. Like we have got Anshi National Guard, Tiger Reservoir, Kotigua National Park and all. We should connect them. And then this hazardous material, whatever is there, it should be not near the coast. It should be in the mainland only. And expand existing wildlife reserves towards poles. Instead of equator, go towards the poles. So these are some solutions for climate change. What can you do? I think everybody will be asking this question, what can I do, boss? Now let us look at CO2 emissions. So drive a fuel efficient car, a fuel efficient bike, or you can go for a walk, do carpooling and use mass transit like bus, trains. Use energy efficient windows. See, now whatever this window glass we are using, of late there is a fashion that we have very large windows to the house. But are you aware what is the repercussions? If you have large windows, the visible light transmission is there, but along with that there is a lot of solar heat gain. And you see all these multi-story buildings, all these so-called corporate offices, the high-tech building, everybody has a fancy for this large windows, and then above that they will put all central AC, and these people are simply burning lot of fuel, in the sense they are using lot of electricity and lot of emissions are taking place because of that. So we need to use energy efficient window. I can give one example of energy efficient window. Instead of one glass pane, what we have, you can have 2 glass panes. Okay, that will reduce some 20 to 25% of heat gain inside the building. One thing, and not only that, now the latest windows what we have seen in the LHB coaches and railways, they are very efficient in the sense they have got two glass panes, and in between the glass pane whatever that air is there, that is removed, and in place argon gas is filled. So now the heat transmission is very much reduced. Light transmission is there, but heat transmission is reduced. So these are known as energy efficient windows. So far they are not very popular because they are very expensive. Okay, over in the days to come, maybe due to mass manufacturing, they will be economically viable. Use energy efficient appliances and lights. So whatever you are using, fridge, TV, washing machine, all these heavy equipments, you should use energy efficient appliances like B star ratings are there, na? You should go for 3-star rating, 4-star, 5-star rating. Though these equipments are costly in the beginning, the first cost is high, but the lifetime cost is low. So please understand, you should go for minimum 3-star rating appliances. So then reduce garbage by recycling and reuse. Don't generate garbage unnecessarily. People have got a fancy towards having more garbage. So use less and recycle more. Then use LEDs. CFLs are also old. Now all LEDs are there. So please use LEDs. Remove this bulb, tube lights, incandescent lamps. And if your house is in the summer, you get a lot of heat. Then you can plant trees so that natural shading is there and the sunlight doesn't fall on the building. Okay. Even on the rooftop, people are painting white paint so that the heat is reflected from the roof, because roof itself 50% of the heat ingress into the building takes place. Okay. Then ozone, because of the ozone depletion, what is happening? Humans are exposed to sunburn. You got eye cataract, pari they call. So there is a thin film in front of eye, and there cataract surgery they do, and it also leads to skin cancers and problems with the immune system. So this ozone depletion also affects food and forest. Yield is reduced. Seafood is reduced, and wildlife also, they get eye cataracts. Okay, and population of this wildlife is reducing. It leads to increased acid deposition. It leads to photochemical smog. Smog is smoke plus fog, that is known as smog. It also leads to global warming. So now you can see this ultraviolet A and B rays, they can affect the long wavelength ultraviolet rays, cause aging of the skin tanning, and sometimes skin burn. It also can lead to skin cancers. And the short wave high energy UV radiation, that is UVB, ultraviolet B, it is responsible for cancer. So you can understand, very dangerous there. So how we can reduce exposure to UV radiation, especially from when the sun is very hot, from 10 to 3 stay indoors, and wear sunglasses. These protect you from the UV rays. Though there is a overcast sky, that doesn't protect us. So between 10 to 3 you should avoid being in the sun, whether it is cloudy or not. And then we use a sunscreen protection factor 15 to 30, like these ladies and girls, they use that this sunscreen. And examine yourself if there are problems. I will discuss about some key ideas. The solid waste means is unnecessary waste of resources. See, resource means again the production cost. If the production is also making pollutions, and there is degradation of environment. So we need to produce less waste prevention, that is through reduced resource use, reuse, recycling, and composting. like a kitchen garden you can have, and bury the organic matter so that it can the solid waste is converted into organic fertilizer. To make industrial manufacturing process more sustainable, we can design them to mimic how nature deals with waste. Okay, this is known as eco-industrial revolution, and businesses can greatly decrease their pollution and waste by shifting from selling goods or leasing the services that the goods provide. Like instead of car selling, now they are leasing also cars. So developed countries should produce 80 to 90% of world's hazardous waste they are producing, and they are not regulated. So now government is coming out with policies for regulation of hazardous waste. We have got to act only for that. And chemical and biological methods should be used to remove the hazardous waste or to reduce their toxicity. Whatever damage they do now, that should be reduced by using chemicals and biological methods. And we should not burn them or bury them. Toxic lead and mercury threaten the health of many children. So earlier in our petrol we used to have lead. Now we have gone for lead-free petrol. And we need to focus on preventing waste production by shifting from unsustainable high waste societies to more sustainable low waste societies over the next 50 years. So what has happened in the lifestyle now? We are trying to be more high-fi, and because of high-fi we are producing more high waste. So we should be less waste producing society in the years to come. And if you look at this natural capital waste and degradation, 75% is coming through mining and oil and gas production, and only 13% through agriculture. Now industry around 9.5 to 10%. Then municipal solid waste is only 1.5. So it is mainly mining and gas production. So regarding this waste also, so what are the priorities? Like top priority, student, now this there are three, like we can prioritize. If you look at the first priority, we need to have the industrial processes which reduce or eliminate the use of harmful chemicals. Secondly, we can purchase alternative products or different products which are less damaging to the environment. And even packaging, I think now you have seen all eco-friendly packaging have come. And the product should be such that they are recyclable, reusable and easy to repair. The secondary pollution and waste prevention method, the second priority will be to reuse products. Like you have a simple example is we use even masks. So nowadays good masks are there which you can use, wash and reuse, and even your handbags, carry bags and all. Then you should be able to repair products, not that you use and throw type. You should be, Indians are very much used to repair and use. Okay? And then recycle. Most of the products should be like recyclable. And then you can make compost in your house. Whatever organic vegetable food, leftover food, you can use it for composting. And we should always buy recyclable and reusable products. And the last priority should be like to treat the waste to reduce the toxicity. Like if there is acid going out, you neutralize that acid water and send it. Then incinerate, like burning, but that is also not allowed nowadays. Incineration also for the normal waste is not. Bio waste is okay, but normal waste incineration has been banned. And bury waste in the landfills. Okay, and whatever waste you are sending to atmosphere, you have to reduce the toxicity and send. And regarding solid waste, again the 4 R's: refuse, reduce, reuse and recycle. Whatever you are buying, first thing, why you are buying that particular item? Do you really require that? Now today if you see, people have got hundreds of clothes, hundreds of footwear, so many things, unwanted things in their houses. Whether you really require, then instead of buying, can you borrow? Like earlier we used to buy cars. Instead of buying, can we rent a car? Like Ola and Uber services are available now. Then we should buy things which are reusable, recyclable and compostable. Okay. Then you should not use the single use item. Like single use items we call now paper cups, paper plates, eating utensils, all these kind of things you should carry your own steel plate, steel glass, wash and use. So that is better. This throwaway things, that culture itself is very bad. We are adding to the junk. uh, then writing papers and all, use email, electronic mail, so that is better. And even newspapers and magazines you can read online rather than hard copies. So what we can do, see one more thing, I will give one example. See here, Denmark, one country, a small country is there. We see that how that the Denmark ecosystem, their industrial ecosystem they are having. So students, this a small nation like Denmark, like how they are using the waste from one energy as a raw material for the another industry. Just we'll see one small example here. In the center you can see the electrical power plant. So electrical power plant, it produces waste heat, it produces fly ash, okay, as well as waste calcium sulfate. So this waste heat of the electrical power plant is given to greenhouse, it is given to pharmaceutical plant. It's a cold country, please understand, it's not like India. Here it's a warm country, there it's cold. So even for area houses, waste heat is given for district heating they call. And the fly ash they send it to the cement manufacturer. India also we are using the same. Fly ash is sent to the cement manufacturers for manufacturing blended cement. And waste it also goes to the fish farming there. Now you can see the oil refinery is there. Oil refinery produces sulfur, natural gas, and also produces surplus sulfur. So the sulfur it is given to sulfuric acid producer in it, and natural gas it sends to the electrical power plant. So this is how you can see this wellboard factory that uses both sulfur, natural gas as well as waste calcium. So the waste from electric power plant as well as oil refinery is used in wellboard factory. So this is how the resources are properly used and not wasted. Coming to reuse, we are very fond of using like cans. So you should not use cans, you should use bottles. Okay, hope you are getting me. All young people understand very fast. Then use reusable plastic and metal lunchbox. Lunchbox also don't take carry away, like you take it in a proper stainless steel lunchbox or even good quality plastic box, so that you can use it, use for many times. And instead of use and throw batteries, use rechargeable batteries. And buy your own bag, okay. And don't use paper napkins, use cloth napkins. This is what you can do, we can do as an individual. And recycling reduces air and water pollution. The advantages, it reduces mineral demand, saves energy, reduces greenhouse gas emission, can save money also. But the disadvantage is it does not save landfill space, and you may lose money when you recycle also, okay. And it is slightly inconvenient to segregate whatever is useful, whatever is not useful in developed countries. But India, we have a lot of people, poor people, who do this segregation. Incineration, that is burning at high temperatures, no. Advantage is reduces the volume of trash, and you don't require big landfills, and low pollution, water pollution, easy. But the disadvantage is it cost is very high. Incinerator, I have seen incinerator, they cost in crores. You will have electrical incineration with FD fan, ID fan, and a big chimney. So air pollution will be caused, especially toxic this one, and ash also is very toxic. So but it is discouraged actually in India, it is discouraged by law. Then you have got waste to energy incinerator. You can see here top, you can see turbine and generator, and the steam comes to turbine, electricity is produced, and the steam is produced in the boiler, and boiler there is a furnace, and for the furnace you have got there is a crane and there is a waste pit also. So you can see waste to energy incinerator with pollution control burns mixed solid waste and requires some of the energy to produce steam. So here in the furnace we are burning the waste, we are taking from the pit, loading in the crane and burning it in the furnace. So instead of throwing away that heat we are using for boiler, and that boiler will produce steam and produce electricity. So this is like waste to energy. In the previous we have seen incineration. Incineration means we are only burning, and I told you we are using fans, ID fan, induced draft fan, forced draft fan, and the heat is dumped. But here the incinerator we are using it to produce electricity, because the waste heat is used to produce steam in a boiler. Here also you can see various applications are there. Solutions are provided, okay, for sanitary landfills. Landfills are a big problem in present day because lot of the waste is produced. Okay, now we shall look at some chemicals. We are all using chemicals, but we don't know. Let us see. One is the cleaning, like whatever disinfects, toilet cleaner, window cleaner, bathroom cleaner, all such cleaners have come. They are all chemicals only. Then paints, especially that enamel based paints, oil based paints. They are now people are advising not to use oil based paint but to use water based paints, because as I said, while oil paint based paint have got VOC, that volatile organic compounds which will evaporate. Then don't use dry cell battery with mercury and cadmium, so better go for rechargeable batteries. And whatever gums and cements we use, they have chemicals. Then in garden we have a lot of pesticides to kill weeds, ant and rodent killers, then powders for insects. And in cars, that battery acid, antifreeze, petrol, solvents, brake fluids, all these things are harmful chemicals, but we don't know. So what we should do, we should produce less waste. Second, convert the less hazardous and non-hazardous substances and put in for perpetual storage in the underground, like landfill, underground injection, waste piles. Okay. So this is one good concept, like I just wanted to share. It is called phytoremediation. Means various types of plants can be used as a pollution sponges. They'll absorb the pollution to clean up the soil and water and radioactive substances, as well as toxic metals. So you can see a good technology it is. Rhizofiltration. Roots of plants such as sunflower with dangling roots on ponds or in greenhouses can absorb pollutants such as radioactive strontium and cesium-137. Okay. Then phytostabilization. Plants such as willow trees and poplars can absorb chemicals and keep them. So these plants are very much helpful. So they take away some plants, different types, like for radioactive material, for chemicals, okay, toxic materials they can take, and that is why these are known as phyto, means remedy by plants. Like you can see sunflower, willow tree, poplar tree, Indian mustard, brake fern. So there are three different. One is for radioactive materials, then organic contaminants, and for inert. This is so if you you understand this, you can implement this. Phytoremediation, what we have seen just now, use of plants. Okay. Then deep underground wells. So hazardous waste can be dug into a deep, like instead of landfill, it is deep inside the ground. Okay, this is for surface impoundments. There is lead poisoning. As I said, lead poisoning. Now we have reduced use of lead in petrol. Okay, that is there. And lead was also used in paints and pipes earlier. Now that also is being reduced. Then what is hazardous waste? For example, ammonia, which is used for cleaning windows and all, metal polishes. Okay. So do not dispose the pesticides, paints, solvents, oil, antifreeze, and other products containing hazardous chemicals by flushing down the toilet. Don't flush in the toilet, huh? Or pour them in the drain, throwing them in the garbage. Don't do these kind of things. So here you can see very nice figure it is. Sun is supplying heat and natural cap for the natural capital. We are doing production and consumption, and in this we are polluting. We are using the natural resources and producing heat and waste. So the present unsustainable economical growth is going on, but we last column you can see we should go for environmentally sustainable development, which should have quality, then efficient, low waste. Okay, then matter should be reused. So these are the so now you can see the last slide. Environmentally sustainable economic development favored by ecological economists, environmental economists, and environmental scientists. The goal is to have economic systems that put on more emphasis on conserving and sustaining the air, water, soil, biodiversity, and other natural resources that sustain life and all economies. So let us see one by one from top. So you should produce energy efficient fuel cell cars, forest conservation, no-till cultivation, solar fields, photovoltaic fields, then solar for houses, water conservation, recycling plant, landfill, cluster housing development, wind farms, using bicycle for transport, deep sea CO2 storage, high speed trains for public transport, and even underground CO2.